Good morning. Good morning. What's up, folks? How's everybody doing this morning? Screen sharing started with our board friends. Let's see what numbers just came in at as far as durable goods and GDP. Growth rate reported at 2.8. Consensus was 2%, previously at 1.4. So that's actually pretty good. As far as the growth rate there on GDP, that's positive. Economic news come down and test the demand here on S&P, which we testing there here early this morning. We've already seen one bounce off of that. Seem to be trying to make some higher lows possibly handle here on that. So anyway, let's dig into what we're seeing here on the charts. We'll go over some trade plans that we've already done previously. We'll go over our member selected tickers from over the weekend. Cover the trade plan did Tuesday morning pre-market to some new trade plans. So what's up, Unknown Reviews? What's up, Fred? What's up, Chris? Good morning to you. Unknown Reviews already. Let's take a look at how do I CCL crude oil futures, Colgate earnings report coming up. I think I've nailed it down to which one you're. Okay, we'll take a look for sure. All right. So everything digging in stream good over Discord. What's in the Discord? If you haven't already made your way over to the YouTube stream, please join us YouTube side of the house. All right, so let's dig in. Let's talk a little bit about what we're seeing here. ES futures, S&P futures had a number of demand zones that all got wiped out. Pretty big drawdown that we saw yesterday. So here we are testing the top, the next demand zone down below. We did put in a new supply zone overhead. I think also from a 4-hour perspective, I know the trend line. I know this trend line looks like it's kind of been invalidated a little bit, but if we take a look at this 4-hour chart, which is where it applies, pretty clean. We do have this one liquidity grab overhead, but candles rejecting off it. Candle did close below, so that looks like a pretty good liquidity grab before they pulled things down lower. I think further validates this trend line. So we are under a little bit of a downtrend at the moment. Just looking at some of the hourly time frames, thinking about sort of near term, looking at other things that kind of give me a little bit of concern as far as when we might see a recovery. This break below and then flip of from support to resistance of the 333 SMA here, 4-hour chart, coming up and adding some confluence overhead there at 54.8725. So that kind of gives me some pause and some concern about any kind of big bounce. And if we can get back over that, I think there can be a pretty decent recovery up to this 55.4225 level. And there is a small gap to fill here. We don't see this too often on, but here you have it. Small gap to fill to the upside from 55.85 up to 55.94. So if we get over 54.87, again, those would be levels I would expect to see tested. Don't forget about that trend line also potentially being an issue there. So, right now things looking a little bit bearish near term. Certainly not a bear market by any stretch of the imagination. But, again, near term, there's definitely some pressures. It's breaking down. Haven't kind of seen breakdown in a while. I can't remember the time we saw a 2% or more down move in markets, but there you had it yesterday. So I think we were probably a little bit overdue for that. It's just hard to predict when we see that come in. I think Tesla and Google earnings Google overall positive numbers, Tesla kind of pretty rough numbers. Tesla would be Tesla continues to kind of behave like a car company versus a tech company. And I think that's really the valuation. Tesla has always been based on it being a tech company. So Elon trying to figure out what thing that's gonna really kind of help Tesla find better profitability. Maybe it's gonna be the robo taxi thing. They've got to get that rolled out and got to get approved by the various municipalities as whether or not they're going to allow self-driving vehicles. So anyway, lots of stuff going on with that. Google overall good numbers, but concerns over how much money AI it seems, with the concerns that maybe that isn't wise investment pay out long run. So going to be interesting to watch kind of how all this stuff plays out. But I think those two earnings reports were really the catalyst that got things moving to the side, and then I think we saw after that. Anyway, it will be interesting to watch how this demand zone holds down here. Certainly could be lots of buying pressure really anywhere in there. I think if we get back below 5402 or just call it back below 5400, could see another leg down, takes us even lower down to the next daily demand. So anyway, again, things kind of with a little bit of a bearish lean at the moment. Again, not saying that we're in a bearish market at all. Overall, I'd say we're still pretty strongly bullish, but that doesn't mean there aren't downside moves out for. So anyway, keep an eye on all this stuff. Let's dig into some trade plan recaps, and then we'll get to some of these new ticker requests I've already seen. Colgate Palmolive from Unknown Reviews, and Walmart time from Chris, who's always got the solid picks. Sets them up, I knock them down. So let's take a look at these. NVIDIA, this was from our member selected tickers over the weekend. NVIDIA did have a nice, we've talked about this times, talked about Tuesday, breakout to the upside, played for a few price targets there, and then eventually started to break back down, started to hit resistance where we had flipped support there at 119.78 call entry level. Then we saw it going into close yesterday. Sorry, let me. We saw it break down, start to back test as resistance, or put entry, a little bit of an attempt to push back above, but ultimately broke down and has now hit all price targets to the downside. So if you currently riding NVIDIA to the downside, I would say make sure to lock profits at open. This could bounce from here. It does seem to be finding some support there near our third price target, dropping a little bit below, some sweeps below there, but overall looks like it's finding support right around that 111.73. So NVIDIA's played out both upside and downside this week. Congrats if you caught any of those moves. I did outline trade to the side earlier this week. Amazon, this one's also played out to the upside once, hit our first price target. Didn't quite get to PT2, which was interesting, but overall we saw it Tuesday shortly after open just absolutely rocket to the upside, flew through the call entry and hit PT1 plus, like I said. And again, I personally did not chase this one just because it was a little bit too fast extreme of a move for my personal liking. We never really got strong pullback that I during the trading day. We did see a potential setup there, but ultimately that tap PT1 during the extended hour session continued to break down, and now we see it breaking down below, some back testing of put entry. We're getting ready to test put stop loss average down here at 182.95. There was potentially an actionable entry there right going into close. And as we saw this breakdown and back test of put entry level, could see a rejection here of the stop loss average down. There isn't also an interesting confluence there overhead. 84.03 with a 333 SMA there on the 5-minute chart. So that could be an interesting spot to watch projections. But overall, Amazon potentially looking for more downside. However, those GDP numbers could continue to lift it as we head into the open and might push us throughout the day. To keep an eye on all of that, we could see at least kind of a dead cat bounce out of this big downside move. Stuff. Definitely keep your hand on a swivel at the ready to kind of shift bias on a dime. Things could bounce, but and seeing evidence that downside sort of careful about chasing that big move. All right, last but not least from the member selected tickers, Microsoft. Microsoft broke to the upside, hit our third price target for calls essentially, and has dropped from there. So we captured all the upside move. Great back test. We talked about this Tuesday morning. I personally listened, was a little bit frustrated by missing. It was a great setup from a number of perspectives. So anyway, came back tested 439.16, ran all the way up PT3 and has rejected from there. Now played out to the downside. Here we see a break below. Back test there yesterday of the put entry. Now hitting PT3 here pre-market. So again, something to just remind you guys of. I know I say this a lot, but especially if you're going to follow these plans with options and swing overnight, be careful and mindful of the fact that we can hit price targets while you're sort of still locked into the trade outside of the cash session or the options trading hours. If that happens, we can see, again, hitting PT3, we would expect a reversal off that, with that being sort of the ultimate target for the downside. We have seen that bounce from there pre-market. So just, again, something to be mindful of as you trade these plans with options and consider whether or not you're overnight. Just remember that we can hit price targets, and that can potentially cause the price action to shift directions while we're still locked into. So anyway, just be mindful of that. All right, member selected, or sorry, trade plans that we did during Tuesday's live stream. Roblox was on the list, and really kind of nothing to see here so far. Definitely looks interesting if it can break over 40.76. That's a big what if, I would say, at this better confirmation there over our call entry there, 41.56. So need to keep these levels on watch for Roblox. Go pull these levels from options watch list in the Discord, or go back to the live stream from Tuesday. Posted it at there, and I'm pretty sure you can go back and see all the chat history and that from our previous live stream. Anyway, nothing to really see here again on Roblox so far. Tesla was also on the list of tickers that we did Tuesday pre-market. Tesla did break to the downside, started to reject the 333 SMA there on the 15-minute, not once, twice, heading into the close there on Tuesday and into their earnings report. Ultimately, that sent it plummeting to the downside, as I'm sure you all know. Continues to push lower and lower here, so Tesla looking kind of really ugly. And again, you know, my concerns with Tesla, at least in the near term, you know, starting to act and behave and show profit margins of a automotive company, when the valuation of Tesla, I think, been in it being viewed as a tech company. I think, again, that is a narrative that Tesla seems to be struggling to maintain at the moment, but sure, Elon has trick up his sleeve. It's all for time before he comes out next big thing for Tesla. Would be interesting to see if Tesla can break over 216.73. Does break over that, I do see potential for to keep that on watch. I would certainly keep the price target around this 220.18 level. So again, over 216.73 potential target up there at 221.18. Keep my stop pretty tight on that. I'd say I'd keep it here at this 214.85 level. So just a quick thought. Tesla there. And then last but not least, Texas Instruments from the Tuesday live stream. this one was reporting earnings. They shifted or hmm. Okay. Anyway, it definitely looks like they reported. Weird move here, but anyway, Texas Instruments. We did Tuesday pre-market. Did come up and back test our put entry. They're at 202.53 and rejected to the downside to PT2 for puts. Bounce from there going into its earnings report. Ultimately, kind of just did volatile sideways movement. Continues to be playing out to the downside, getting some kind of fake prints, but definitely seeing some prints and reaction off of that PT3 for puts. But overall, Texas Instruments has played out to the downside. No real actionable move side. Again, kind of with these phantom prints, I don't count those as touches, but we've certainly seen price targets to the downside. Congrats if you. All right, let's get to some new trade plans here. Got the list Colgate Palm Olive CL with earnings coming up, and Walmart XLV. I'll have to take a look. Circle back to that one. Take a quick new trade plans. If you guys have any ticker requests or any questions, please start dropping those into the YouTube chat. Let's make the most of the last 30 minutes ish that we. Let's take a look. That was just buy the dip off that key level. Oh wow, look at that. So we talked about this one, right? This was a buy the dip as long as it was holding 147.56. Did set a third price target at 150.55, but I think I did also mention keeping an eye on 51.31 being the more interesting ultimate price target to the side. We ran right up to that, happened, rejected all the way down, and then look where we bounced from almost perfectly, I would say. Close to perfect as we're probably going to 46.86 to the penny, actually, I should say. Caught that bounce off that stop loss average down there at 146.86. Continue to play out back to the upside, hitting PT2 again. So, banger. And really, really patting myself on the back with how we caught that fib extension so cleanly and caught that bottom perfectly with our stop loss average down, key support level, upside only by the dip. Yeah, Chris, as always, coming with the good requests and to plan together something. So let's get going here. Well, Colgate Palm Olive, again, earnings coming up tomorrow. So tomorrow tomorrow pre-market. All right, let's take a look. It's been a while since I've looked to see trade plan levels back here. Wow, look at that bounce off third price target. That no, they're kind of curious when did this. Here's the upside, downside. Did this? Okay, it bounced off. Or we did the plan. Okay. Anyway, got curious about previous. For now, don't it. YouTube audio's cutting off. Oh, gosh, my bad. I am trying to work with some mic settings, and honestly, I think I'm gonna just get a whole. Yeah, let me know if I'm trying to add some new filters and stuff like that in OBS. So yeah, if there's, is it still, are you still having issues with it, Chris? I'm trying to talk a little closer, maybe a little bit louder. I did add some stuff that's supposed to be cutting off. Cuts off briefly. Okay, that could be. How's that? Is that better? Maybe cutting off less. I had a new noise gate filter on there that was trying to, again, filter out any background crap. So let me know if that's better. All right, so let's take a look at this CL trade plan setup. Again, I need to just get my bearings on it real quick. Okay, good. I won't use that noise gate filter anymore. Good to know. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. So here's an old fib extension that has turned into a weekly support resistance level. All right, we're going to need to dig into this a little bit. Later time frames. Again, remember this one is reporting earnings tomorrow, pre-market, so be very careful swinging. All right. We do have a daily level right there. I'll dig into this. And this one, not really, yeah, not a great extended hours trader. So focus on the regular trading hours chart here. It's only a couple of touches, but that is a very interesting rejection and bounce off that level. So I'll keep that on watch. In fact, I'm going to kind of just placeholder that level for now. Yeah, that's a good 4-hour level there. This is the current all-time high. We'll want to know where that is because we're going to need some fib extensions, I'm fairly sure. All right, let's get into the hourly chart. Let's fill in the blanks, and I think we'll be ready to plan this sucker. Where are we at here? Pre-market 96.56. All right, here's what I'm thinking on this one. Sorry, let me hide these real quick. It's a little bit lower, right there. Okay. So what I'm thinking here on CL, I think we can take a shot at this if it breaks back over this 97.10 level. It might be a little bit of an aggressive entry. Again, remember, earnings tomorrow pre-market, so be careful with what you choose to swing. Over that, kind of eyeballing this 98.66 level. Again, filling in the blanks here on the hourly. You know what? I take that back. I'm going to shoot one level conservative. It's probably not a huge difference in profitability. Go for that 98.38 level, actually. Could see resistance there. Over that, say we shoot for the current all-time high there at 99.61, and then we need, like I said, trend-based fib extension. Was expecting to need to do those. Let's hide this real quick. Trend runs about, come on, grab that candle right there, grab it. Pretty close to that, seems. So, with that being the case, trend-based fib extension up to this all-time high, and then pretty close to that. So that would give us our next target up here. This is the only one we'll need for the sake of this plan at 198. Stop loss average down for this upside plan. Yeah, I think it's sitting right about here. At 96.05. All right, downside. Entry below this weekly level. I was already eyeballing that when we were zoomed out. Below 95.14. We'll share a stop loss with that upside trade plan. Let me hide this real quick. First target to the downside. Yeah, this old fib extension that we had already on the chart there at 93.81 looks pretty good to me. I think we probably have level it's probably sitting right about here at 92.98. Then below that I'd be looking at this 92.25 level. Kind of conservative maybe on that third price target, but it was a breakover and a base built off that level as things progress to the upside. So, all right, here are your CL trade plans. Let's go. All right, let's zoom in on this guy. So, here is the link to the chart. Also posting that in the options watch list for our friends in Discord. So what are we looking at here on CL? Again, with earnings coming up tomorrow pre-market, we are looking for a break over 97.10 to play for continuation to the upside. That should bring targets at 98.38, 99.61, and then 198, our first fib extension to the upside, with a stop loss average down there at 96.05. To the downside, we're looking for a break below 95.14. That should bring targets at 93.81, 92.98, and 92.25, with a stop loss average down at 96.05, shared with the upside trade plan. Those are your CL trade plans. Be ready to execute, and then again, be careful swinging anything through earnings. You're very welcome. Unknown reviews. Hopefully it plays out beautifully for you, my friend. All right, so let's get to Walmart from my homie Chris. Oh, interestingly, just played off of a prior trade plan from the last time we did Walmart a couple of Tuesdays ago. Let's take a look at this where it's at pre-market. But yeah, it did break above, back test, bounced off our call entry from that prior plan. Looks like we did that one during the Tuesday, July 9th live stream session. All right, so let's take a look at this pretty much still in price discovery. Really nice bounce though off that 70.13 level. All right, Walmart, what do you want to do from here is the question. Interesting topping out up here. Again, we're in price discovery. Fib extensions, best we could have done trying to project where some of these levels might be, but this will be an interesting one to watch and potentially add a new set of extensions off of. Also could wind up being our call entry level. Might wait for a new breakout, new all-time high test. Let's see here. That fib extension, pretty good actually. I'm just surprised we came a little bit shy of it. I guess it was only about, what was the high on that? 80. Okay, that's not too far off. 6 cents. I'll give myself that little bit of wiggle room on that rejection, not needing to move that 70.90 level. All right. Yeah, I think, at least based on where it's sitting right now, I mean, really makes the most sense to wait for this to go for a true new all-time high breakout. We'll do some fib extensions off of that. Stop loss average down already seems to be showing itself here on the hourly. Thinking around this 70.59, but let's see where our targets are at first. This one's still on a pretty solid trend here, actually. And I probably mentioned that too. We haven't really seen a great pullback or break of structure on Walmart to really gauge good fib extensions. I mean, I think the ones that we did have held up well, but I think we're still operating off this same trend essentially. Do this. This is an interesting new base that it put in here, though, off that trend. Sorry, I'm just thinking out loud, debating with myself here momentarily. Also an interesting double bottom. I think yeah, let's use that. So I think that brings us to right about here. So that gives us a first extension up here, 71.80 based on this new set. So with that being said, I think we do use this 70, yeah, 70.75 is a good stop loss average down. All right, sorry, this took a second, but it's starting to come together. Whoops, that's not the one I wanted to change. Yeah, and do all those changes. There we go. All right. Now that's a pretty close, I mean, probably right at a 1-to-1 risk reward. So be careful with your position sizing on this. Is the other thing that I'd say. Yeah, right at it. All right, last time we went for the 50%, and I thought the 0.618 was actually the next target. I was right about the 618, so we're going to use it this time. And we're going to use the 786 up there. 73.42 is a third price target. So that's what our upside trade plan looks like. Downside, Maybe I already flagged this, but yeah, 7013. That could be, I think that's maybe the, what was that, the upside entry? I think that looks like a good downside entry for our new trade plan. Share the stop loss with the upside plan. First target. This level could be just a little bit off. I think it sits right there. 69.40. Also interesting confluence there with the 333 SMA, so keep that in mind. Below that, I think it does go for 68.59. Below that, let me just see this price action real quick. Could be wrong about this. It could be 68.22, but I say let's take a shot at that 68.79 third price target to the downside for Walmart. So this is what our trade plans are going to look like. Let me clean up this chart just a little bit more. Then we'll talk through these plans so you guys will be ready to execute. All right. So here are your Walmart live stream plans, aka the Chris G Blue Light Special. All right. So, what are we looking for here on Walmart? We're looking for a break above 71.26, essentially break out to new all-time highs. That should give us targets through our fib extensions at 71.80, 72.75, and 73.42, with a stop loss average down at 70.75. To the downside, we're looking for a break below 70.13. That should give us targets at 69.40, 68.59, and 67.89. Shared stop loss average down with that upside trade plan at 70.75. Those are your Walmart trade plans, upside or downside. Be ready to go. Okay, so we've got about 8 minutes left. Let's see, do we have any other ticker requests? I don't see any in the YouTube stream so far. So if anybody watching on YouTube has a ticker request they want me to take a look at real quick with the 7-ish minutes we've got left, please feel free to drop that in the chat. Or if anybody in the Discord who's watching along has a ticker request, let me know. I'm checking that chat as well right now. So what do y'all got? Let's put one more together. Let's make this a 3 for this morning. Don't be shy. There are no wrong ticker requests. MMM. Is that the sound of you thinking, or do you want us to take a look at 3M? Are you going, or is that your trade plan request? Ah, another earnings coming up. Let's take a look at it. Now, you were here. You were first, brother. You got the ticker request in. Everybody else was silent as the grave. So, let's do it. Another one for unknown reviews. Another one tomorrow pre-market earnings report. All right. Interesting topping out right here at the key selling pressure and the key selling level on Neptune on the weekly chart. I think we probably do. Yeah, also have a weekly support and resistance level right there. I think that's going to be, I'll go ahead and wager that that will wind up being our call entry level. I this level's right about there. Spy plane. That's not a bad idea, Chris. But you were too slow, brother. Unknown Reviews, who is here every morning, bright and early, got to it before you. We should do that though at some point. Talk through how I kind of go through that process. But man, I get into my own head about that sometimes, and because I just got such a solid track record with that thing. I'm like, anytime that we have a day where like we didn't hit a price target, we got faked out, I get kind of frustrated, even though I shouldn't. Plant there that nothing's 100%, but let's see. Okay, yeah, we'll do it again. But I'm kind of intrigued by this 3M setup right here, honestly. Like, I think this break over 105.68 could be a big move. If it reports pretty good earnings. There's another level down here. You know what we should do? Now that we've got the webinar calendar squared away and working on the Xtrades app, maybe I'll put together a class on trade planning and drawing support and resistance. If that's something you guys would be interested in, let me know. Probably do like a 2-hour on a weekend. Session. So I'll take a look at my calendar and see when we can't put something like that together. All right, I do want to take a quick look at one thing here on the extended hours chart. Yeah, I had a feeling this was one that wasn't really trading too much during the extended hours session. So we'll stick with regular trading hours charts. That's an interesting daily level there. Yeah, that's definitely a good level to watch. Same thing with this one. All right, I think I've got a good idea of where I want to go with this. All right, so let's fill in the blanks on this as we go along on the hourly chart. But we're looking for a break over this 105.68 level. Let's see if we have. Do like all the confluence down there at 102.42. Also, nah, I'm gonna stick with. Nah, maybe it is a little bit lower, just a little bit. 105.53. So I do want to check on the hourly here. I'm thinking the first target's up here at 108.63, but let's actually, that'll help clean things up a little bit. Yeah, I think that is at 105.53. Just want to see. That wasn't that long ago, was it? There we go. Yeah, 108.63 first target. Second target 111.75. Third target that's an interesting little dip below, but that's an interesting break below and back Sorry, just thinking out loud for a moment here. I think we're getting a little greedy shooting that high. I think there is an interesting level here at 115.80 that we would shoot for as our third price target. I think we stick with my original thought on the stop loss average down. Let's fast forward this. They're at 102.42, especially with some of those confluences that we have sitting right there. So downside trade plan. I think it could. Yeah, there's a level right here. So this is going to be a little bit of a tighter plan on this side, I think. There is a level there at 189 that then opens up a move down to 98.46, in my opinion. Question my stop loss average down on this. It could actually be smarter, yeah, to set it. It gives the trade, I think, appropriate room to work out up here. Second target, whoops, down here at this daily level, 96.86. Third target, it's an interesting little dip that got bought up right there. It's also an interesting rejection that went on to become a nice base. Also, I think I've got this weekly level just a little bit high. Let's take a shot at it. We'll go for 94.34, third price target. So here are your 3M trade plans. So, whoops. All right. Oh, sorry, guys. I just circled back over to the Discord and missed all the requests there. My bad. We will do something with the Daily Spy plan live. I promise. All right. Here's your 3M live stream plans. We're looking for a break over 105.53 that should give us targets at 108.63, 111.75, and 115.80 with a stop loss average down at 102.42. To the downside, we're looking for a break below 189 that should give us targets at 98.46, 96.86, and 94.34 with a stop loss average down at 103.47. All right, that does it for this morning's live stream. I want to thank you all so much for joining me this morning. We will be back next Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So in the meantime, go out there, get some green, plan your trades, trade your plans, as we always say here on these FOMO live streams. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you come back next Tuesday. Tell your friends. Come join us on YouTube. The rest of you all who are in the Xtrades Discord, I will see you guys in the chats and the spy plan coming at you here momentarily in the options watch list. Have a great day. See you guys next week. Take care.